Hey guys, I am starting a new YouTube channel that's going to also be on IGTV about budget technology maker, a maker curriculum. I recently had about a $3,000 fancy laptop stolen, a MacBook, from my car. I recently moved to the West End in Atlanta, and the laptop was stolen around the time when I moved to South Atlanta. So my goal is to try to recoup the loss financially by supporting this channel that I'm going to use to teach people how to use like open source hardware and software to replace the Apple version and Microsoft version of computing in their lives. I want to teach people how these resources can be employed as best I can on the channel. It's going to be a new YouTube channel primarily where I try to scale the curriculum to something that can be shared in like a classroom or in a public learning space. So pretty much the first project or first couple projects are going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to be walking people through how to build a web page and how like the resources for web page building are actually for the most part open source and free. So that's the first thing, and then I'm going to move into more things like robotics projects. So I'm living now in the West End, and I will kind of show you later a video about where I'm living, but I'll just suffice to say there's a lot of like parks and urban gardens in this area that are pretty cool community areas. That there's a lot less stores here. There's not as much coffee shops and big box stores, which I actually really appreciate in a way. I'm just tired of living in the north part of Atlanta where it feels like everything is about the next sale. Here the community spaces are more kind of like municipal and governmental parks and stuff. So that's going to fit into this curriculum as well, because it's going to be, the curriculum is really for South Atlanta. I have a little bit of history in this part of Atlanta. I tried teaching high school here in Fairburn, well, not exactly West End, but Fairburn, back in 2014, and I had a really hard time getting really anything done in the classroom. My hands were tied because just things like I couldn't take up the phones, and there was a lot of like behavioral disruptions. It was really hard to teach in that area or in that context. So I'm looking to pick that up in this channel to see if I can actually make a homeschool curriculum or make the curriculum applicable to homeschooling. So the first thing is, what I want to do is just describe, what I'm looking to do here in the West End, and explain my situation in general. So I currently am on Social Security disability. I have disability for PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder and bipolar disorder. I've had a really hard time holding a job recently, meaning the last couple years. And what I'm looking to do is build some kind of business around tutoring and technology, or the intersection of technology and tutoring. I will be using the YouTube channel as a forum to share ideas and thoughts. Really, one of my biggest concerns is really about community development with technology in a way that promotes the growth of the local community over the growth of the model of a big company like a Google, Facebook, Apple type model. What I'm looking to do is actually take more of the angle of like the public art angle, looking at the idea of becoming a kind of like a resident artist who uses technology in his art in my community. I want to start little projects around things like gardening spaces and try to just basically get connected with the community in such a way as to promote local growth. That can happen here because there is a lot of effort in the West End to try to promote, local businesses coming up. I'll just leave it at that. But I am shooting this video kind of off the cuff, and I'm not in front of my computer or books or anything, so I haven't really prepared anything in too much detail. But I wanted to just go ahead and shoot this video because I think it's important to just get started on the channel. Aside from that, really the main idea here is to focus on projects that can be done in a reasonable amount of time with a minimal budget, and that way, it can be done by people that are, not really that loaded with money, and can be something that can be scaled to a community around you. So really what I'm going to be starting with is JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, the basic introduction to those technologies, as well as a general introduction to the browser. My next video will probably be on the computer, where I walk you through like that aspect on the computer screen. I'll have to figure out how to screen record that, but pretty much the main thing is what I want to be able to do is walk you guys through how to build a web page, and I want to build some kind of mapping web page around data in my neighborhood, or about my neighborhood. So stay tuned to that. My main concern really right now is, figuring out what kind of data do I want to map, and what format do I want to put that mapping project into. I'm thinking about things like property values, crime, statistics, things like that. Probably I'll end up doing some combination of both on the map, but I want to do a mapping project to basically show you how to do that, as well as it'd be good for a portfolio, because a lot of these new apps are kind of mapping apps, and I am trying to basically build out a portfolio for a tech job down the road. So I think a mapping project would be good. So I'm going to be looking at different mapping techniques for the web browser and maybe the mobile web. But keep in mind that the app or apps that I build will be something around the West End, and focusing maybe around like the Beltline or things like that. How does the Beltline impacting the community? Is there ways of using technology to inform the public about that, or maybe even creating forums that can be used for people to share data? So I'll leave it at that, and otherwise I hope you have a good day. Stay tuned for the first in a series of videos about the web, and I'll be coming to you with that soon. And otherwise, have a good day. Take care.